And the practice that I'm going to show you today is going to be very, very gentle. But what we're going to focus on is literally unwinding the areas of your body that are bound so that you can free up and move more freely. Because when you can move more freely, you're not going to feel so stuck in your life, for one thing. This noise hopefully will pass soon. You're not going to feel so stuck in your life, for one thing. But also, it's going to help you to actually be able to relax. Because when you feel bound up physically, what this does is it tenses up your muscles in your body, and it sends signals to the brain that tells your sympathetic nervous system, that part of your nervous system that puts you in fight or flight mode, to stay active. So you feel like you're under stress all the time, even when it's time to just rest, like at night going to sleep. So during periods of extreme stress, what happens is that your adrenals get fired up. And the adrenal glands are two glands that sit on top of the kidneys that regulate your nervous system. So if you're under stress, or a good example is like, let's say you drink a big cup of coffee, that immediately, that caffeine rush stimulates the adrenals to come in to calm your nervous system, calm your heart rate back down so things don't get out of control. Your pressure and everything like that also has to be regulated by the adrenal glands. Now, if you're always stimulating yourself, or if you're always in periods of stress, the adrenals stay hyperactive. And when your adrenal glands are hyperactive, then you're not going to be able to fully rest. And what happens is that when the adrenals are always working, they start to get very exhausted. The main symptoms that come from adrenal exhaustion are the paired symptoms of severe fatigue, so you're totally exhausted. But then at night, the time that you've been yearning for all day to go and rest, as soon as that time comes and your head hits the pillow, you're totally wired and you can't rest. Does that sound familiar to some of you? I'm sure it does. I know that I've experienced it for sure. So what happens is that because your nervous system is staying in this hyped up sympathetic state, you can't shift into the parasympathetic state, which is what allows you to rest and to digest. Now, what we do know about being in that sympathetic state, or that fight or flight mode, is that a few things happen to your body. So when you're in that state, whenever you're faced with danger and you have to either choose whether you fight that danger or run away from it, is that your pupils dilate. But one other major thing that we can actually work on is that the muscles in the body, when you're in that sympathetic state, become very tense. And this is a protective way to be able to have you on guard. So because we know that the muscles have to stay tense when you're in that sympathetic nervous activation, to get you into a parasympathetic state of rest and digest, we need to relax the muscles. We need to unwind the muscles. And because chi moves in circles, energy moves in circles, we want to create spiral-like motion, spiral-like movements to unwind that energy. Because we want to replicate what that chi knows, what it can relate to and what's familiar to it, so that it can reflect back and respond more easily. Now, what happens whenever the main muscles that get very tight when you're in this sympathetic state are known as the paravertebral muscles. And those are the muscles that pretty much run right outside of your spine. Many of you may notice that those muscles on you are quite tight, especially in certain areas like the neck, which tends to get even more tense. This is the area along which, in Chinese medicine, the bladder meridian runs. And the bladder meridian is the meridian that what it does is it helps propel us to move forward, to walk forward in our lives. So when you're like goal-oriented, it's bladder that drives you to go to that next step. But if you're always moving forward, what happens is that the bladder meridian starts to tighten up. Because what is it trying to do? It's trying to get you to slow down. The bladder meridian tightens, and the way that your body responds is, oh, I have lower back pain. Oh, I have neck pain. But most of the time, if we're not conscious, instead of slowing down, we go, okay, let me just massage it out and keep going. Instead, what I'm going to teach you to do is to massage it out through your practice and then rest. So what it's going to require when you unwind to create more space for rest. And even if you're very busy, let's say you have children and you're homeschooling and you're working a full-time job, job. I know a lot of you are in really stressful situations right now. Regardless of that, you can still get your rest at bedtime because this will improve the quality of your sleep, which will help you feel more restful overall. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. You're going to stand with your feet about hip width apart. And make sure that your feet are parallel because you want to make sure that you're not, you want to make sure to stand with your feet hip width apart, parallel. And parallel means that when you gaze to the outer edges of your feet, they're straight. Let's just take a few deep breaths. Stay hollow under your arms. Let's just settle into the physical body for a moment. Now we'll keep today's practice really short and very gentle, particularly because we are working in climate or this energy of the full moon, which requires us to rest more. If you're watching this video later and you're not going through a period where it's a full moon, it's still a really wonderful practice to do when it's almost like you feel too tired to move or to practice. This will help break you out of that habit. Let's take a few deep breaths and just settle into the physical body. Scan and notice where you feel tension, where you feel resistance, but then bring your attention mostly to the areas where you're feeling discomfort. I want you to breathe into one of those areas where it feels easy. So let's say that it's your right shoulder, just relax. Breathe into that space. With your exhale, visualize that ease spread through the rest of your body. Take one breath here, relax your jaw. Relax your face. And then bring your awareness to the feeling that you brought with you to the practice this morning. What feelings? Is there a sense of nervousness or exhaustion or joy, happiness, gratitude, whatever it is, without trying to understand the meaning behind it, simply notice the feeling as it is. Notice the state of your mind, the thoughts. Sometimes when you come to stand or sit for your practice, you may notice the mind is quite active, and at other times it's quite settled. It'll be different each time, so just be where you are right now. And take one deep breath there. And notice the environment in which you're practicing this morning or today. Wherever you are, whatever time it is. Feel into the temperature of the space, the sounds, the smells. And take a couple of deep breaths into that space. When you're ready, first just open your eyes slightly. Just a couple of breaths from here. And once you feel ready, you can lift your gaze and just come into your body more. start with rubbing the hands. So you'll rub the hands and bring energy into the palms of the hands. And you'll take that energy and you'll start to open up the channels. So you'll just rub the arms, pops, into the palms all the way up, into the biceps, the shoulders, moving into the lung region. So really going into the underneath the clavicle, first and second point of the lungs, the lung meridian lining this area. So waking up the lungs, opening into the diaphragm, and then go to the other side. Same thing, just rub. And the self-massage. So wake up all the channels. And then rubbing the legs of the body all the way down into the legs. Bending your knees a little as you come down. Up. Go back into the kidneys. Get some energy there. Very nice. Good. And shake. So as you shake, I want you to practice lifting and dropping your heels. So letting that lift and drop start to create a vibrational effect through the legs, and then carrying that vibration all the way up into the rest of the body, through the torso, and then up into the shoulders, out through the arms. And shake your head a little bit. Moving all the tension out. Maybe breathe out through the mouth a little here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. Just shake it all out. Cross the arm and shake. So swing your arms, you're kind of bending the knees, your back is flat, you're going to alternate swinging the arms. So you're kind of opening up the chest through the back of your body. So opening the lungs. Breathe. And shake your hands and extend them out. Good. And shake that all out. Nice and loose, roll up. And then you're going to start rotating. And as you rotate, first just pull from the hips. Watch as I swing my hips, my arms swing. Other direction. Take your gaze forward first. And then as you get used to this motion, you start to turn your head. Maybe even pivot off of your back heel. You're really releasing the lower back. Breathe. So now bringing in that Ujjayi breath. Long inhales and exhale. Slightly constricting the back of your throat. And slow that movement down. Let's get some of us dizzy. So let's anchor the energy now. Inhale and raise the arms. Exhale and wash it down. Inhale. Visualize chi or energy traveling up the spine to the crown of your head and then down as you exhale the front of your body. One more time. Inhale and lift. And exhale and wash it down. Place your hands on your hips. Let's open up the neck. So we're going to start activating to create this slow motion in the neck. This is an area that tends to get very, very tense. And because the cervical spine, this is the neck region of your spine, has a direct pathway to the brain. When the nervous system is really active, this area gets very tense. And when this area is very tense, it keeps your nervous system really active. So to release and relax the nervous system, it's very important to relax the neck muscles. So place your hands on your hips and start to move your head from side to side. Notice I'm not dropping the ear. This would be different movement. I'm just shifting. And as I shift, I'm going to lift the shoulder towards which I'm moving my head. also keeping the rest of my body stable. So my hips don't move, my legs don't move, just the neck. And you can go as slowly as you need. Take long, deep breaths as you move your body, as you move the neck. You can go a little more quickly if that feels comfortable. Continue to go really slow. You'll feel it crunching at first. That'll release as you practice. So the important thing is this, of course, intensive practices on the full and the moves. You want to keep your practice very regular, daily, even if just for a few minutes. That consistency is what creates a rhythm, which builds resonance. It starts to create a vibrational shift in your physical body. You want to go forward and back. Forward with the neck, back with the shoulders. Back with the neck, forward with the shoulders. And stretch through there. Really elongate the underside of your, right under the chin. That's an area that starts to really sag as we get older. So it's really important to do these exercises. Keep breathing. Good. You're going to connect these four movements. You're going to go side, forward. Go forward with the head back with the shoulders. Side. Do that slowly until you can build up to a circular movement. Good. Keep breathing. Really gentle. Reverse directions. Remember, crunching, especially at first when you have a lot of tension in the neck, is very normal. Breathe. Good. Down. Relax your shoulders. Now we're going to take the spiral motion into the shoulders, the next major joint of the body. We're going to come forward, lift up, back. And watch as I bend and straighten my knees. As I go down, knees bend a little. As I come up, they soften and extend. And my arms are not doing the work. My arms are really free and light. Right? If I was going like this, my arms would be working, but I'm not. My arms are free. They're just brushing the sides of the body, sides of the legs. And then reverse directions, back, up, forward, down. That's four movements that you're going to tie together to create a circle. And once you get into this, you can also start to wave the spine. Now we're just going to go one shoulder at a time. So same thing, hands are really soft. Now just open your lips a little bit and you'll hear your lungs pump, especially as you go more quickly. Circular motion with the shoulders. Good, and then reverse. And let's take this. You're just going to start to brush the sides of the body. Up and up. Use your breath. Inhale and exhale. Long inhales and exhales. Get nice and slow and deep. Another area that tends to get very tight is the hips and the lower back. And oftentimes when there's too much tension in the hips, the lower back tenses up to compensate. So doing these rotating movements, spiraling the energy will help free that up as well. Go in one direction, and then as you loosen that up, we'll go deeper. So you come forward. So when you're forward, you're actually flattening your back, stretching your hands. So the hamstrings, the glutes are also areas through which that bladder meridian runs. Keep you moving forward, very tense. You have to breathe that area up as well. You come forward and back, pushing your hips forward as you rotate as well. Breathe. Make it nice and easy. So we move a little more slowly today. You come up, and we'll reverse. Small circles, but still rotating, making sure your hips are really moving. So there's a clock underneath you, hitting every hour of that clock with the rotation. Breathe. And then swing bigger. Side, side, forward, back. Forward, side, back. And when you go back, hamstring, side, forward. Go as slowly as you need, especially if you're really tight in the lower back. Don't push this one. Breathe. Now, we're going to work more here into the torso. Try to release some of that tension in the thoracic, this area this time. You're going to start to just rotate the upper body. As you rotate the upper body, keep the lower body stable. You're unwinding that energy. Breathe. And stay long through the spine at the same time that you do this. And collapse. Good. Keep breathing. And let's reverse. This works the lumbar and thoracic regions of the spine. Good. And come down and wrap your thighs. Now work into the next major joints of the body, the knees. It's very important the knees connect to the kidneys. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys, so you're going to swing your elbow out and open your back and up and down, bending your knees. So the kidneys relate to the adrenal glands. So they're the organs that store your essential energy, it's known as your jing. And it's really for longevity and health, it's important to preserve that jing. The best way to do that is through rest. So to rest, we have to get rid of our restlessness. One of the best ways, in my opinion, to do that is to release tension from your physical body. That is what ultimately settles your mind. And one more. And come up. And roll your ankles. And go over the toes. Releasing now those joints. Nice and easy. Reverse directions. And start to just turn the wrists simultaneously. Releasing from the wrists, which helps free energy to open the chest. Releasing that emotional burden that can occur when you're in a time of stress. Reverse. the other direction. Nice and easy, nice and gentle. Find your coordination, take your time. Shake that out. Shake out the feet, the ankles. Shake it all out. Now we're going to interlace the fingers, draw up through the center line of the body. And as you inhale, you're going to spiral the arms up. So your arms are extended over your head. And from here, we're going to do a spiral motion that'll open the cervical and thoracic part of your spine, so the upper parts of your spine even more. You're going to very slowly tip from side to side. Keep your hips steady. Now go forward, back. Breathe. Really gentle if you've had any injuries in your shoulder with this one. The deeper you breathe, the more you rotate your joints, but also the more deeply you breathe, the more in tune you are with how far you can push your body. Your breath is kind of like your barometer. When you're breathing deeply, you're moving within range. As soon as the breathing, so now go side to side again, as soon as the breathing cuts short, you're either pushing too much or you're thinking too much. Either way, that's when you're most prone to injury. So deep breaths. Now we're going to take this in a spiral motion. Reverse. I'm going to challenge, if you want to go a little bit further through this movement, you can start integrating the rotation of the hips. So as you rotate your arms, you rotate your hips. Keep your arms in reverse. Up. It's very gentle rotation down and down. Because I can build up some tension in the shoulders and do the shoulder roll once again. Nice and easy. Watch how your mind may wander if it wants to be more challenged, or if you kind of get bored doing the same movement over again. The mind will play tricks on you. Go forward now. But it's that repetition that really creates that resonance. It's the change in your body. Now shake it. Shake it all out. Shake even more vigorously. And slow that down. 3 times. Inhale. Bringing the cheek from the heavens down as you exhale. Inhale, lifting. Still staying grounded. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And washing it down with your exhale. Close your eyes and just feel. Relax your jaw. Soften your eyes. Make sure your feet are parallel so the energy stays the same. Make sure there's space under your arms for the chi to circulate everywhere. As you soften your forehead, your eyes, your face, lift up through the crown of your head and ground yourself through your tailbone. Feeling the elongation through your spine, feeling relaxation in the back of your body. Allowing you to coil your energy. Open your eyes and just bend forward. Now, for those of you who have very tight hamstrings or a lot of tension in your hips or lower back, you can bend your knees here a little bit. What I want you to do is bend forward and just let your arms and head down. And then from here, you're just going to shake your head and face and breathe out nice and loud. Oh, shake it all up. Shake, shake. Feel a stretch through the hamstrings. When you're ready, bend your knees. Roll up, vertebra by vertebra. Your head will be the last thing that comes up. And one more time. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, wash it down. Do that 3 rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. And this time we'll really hold the chi, hold the energy that you've cultivated right in the lower part of the abdomen. Ladies, you'll put your right hand first. Gentlemen, your left hand will come first. Cover it with the opposite hand. Relax your shoulders, hollow the armpits. Relax your jaw and face. Watch the tension just melt out of your body. Feel the soles of your feet grounded in the earth and the crown of your head lifting up, continuing to extend the spine long. The sensations in your physical body. Notice your emotional state, the status of your mind and your thoughts. Your experience overall when you let go of accumulated tension, holding you back. Take about 3 deep breaths. Gently open your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart center. Honoring the space, the time that you created to be with yourself, to be present in this beautiful physical body. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Be very gentle with yourself throughout the rest of the day. Stay hydrated.